stand
picture
for
of the parks,
prayer,
I'll tell you where it's
pledge,
at.
and so on. Let's bow our heads for prayer, please. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day that you've given us and all the blessings that we so enjoy. We ask this week for travel mercies for everybody heading to Dayton, Ohio, or possibly on vacation for spring break. We ask that you would bless this food to the nourishment of our bodies, and for those who prepared it, thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Let's do the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Four-way pledge. Ready? Is it true? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you. Please be seated. I showed to ask this. Do we have any happy dollars? Don Marshall is number one.
Number one.
Well, number one. You just don't know.
Yeah. With regard to the game this weekend, just so you know, the school is providing a school bus for students, and George McCormick is providing for $50 round trip a bus for adults. And then certain benefactors have provided a deluxe charter bus for the basketball team to ride in, like the rock stars they are. Okay.
No names, please. Yes, ma'am.
All right, just to reiterate, the school district is not paying for a charter bus for the basketball team.
If you want to know who's paying for it, ask me later.
Okay, and then that's just for appreciation. This is like, I love the sandwich today. This is my favorite meal, and the ice cream is amazing. So
Yes.
that's just appreciation.
Thank you. Uh-oh, we got a twofer.
All right, for the basketball team, and so that they have safe journeys there, and, you know, whatever happens, they're a team, they play like a team, and they don't give up, they have true grit, just like John Wayne, you know, grit. As for the fabulous ice cream, I love it, thank you.
Get rid of the ice cream first.
So, I can tell you guys, I always do the streams and the videos for Rotary, and I had a first of something that's never happened to me in all the times I've done videos and stuff. Somehow, in the middle of Rotary last week, my camera decided to change itself into slow motion.
That's funny.
And, well, it was really, really funny because, you know, obviously, when you watch it, you're like, what in the world? Because it went from like smooth sailing to all of a sudden, for like 20 minutes, it went into slow motion and then it just turned itself back on. I've never had that in all the things that I've ever done. I'm actually kind of trying to share it with you all.
Mr. Mark?
Oh.
I got changed.
No.
Alright.
This is something that has, you know, has actually never happened at this level as far as the basketball team. And so I'm giving that and just saying in honor of my father-in-law, myself, my son, Jim Edwards, anybody that's ever stepped on the court. Jerry Dunbar, that's worn the L, Randy, that worn the L on their jersey. This is just fantastic. We're so proud of these young men, the coaches and everybody. The kids are outstanding. So it's just fabulous. Thank you, Chery, for the ice cream. It's delicious as always. And also another thing that the last couple weeks has provided. It's been a great uplifting story for another teammate and classmate of ours. Kenny Rapp down in Florida was involved in a very, very serious bicycle van accident, broken back, and he's in some real serious rehab and condition. But his wife tells me when I send the little video clips of our games that puts a smile on his face. And So, K-Dog, this one's for you.
Thank you. Hey Tricia, do you want to tell us how your hubby's doing and why you're here today?
I'm not skipping school. I'm here taking care of my husband. Glenn had a total hip replacement yesterday. So I'm supposed to be home with him, but he's taking it. But he's doing well. Thank you for asking.
Yes. Do we have a song? I know we have a song. I think we have to stand up for this, right, Mark?
We do have to stand for this song. If you would, please. Let's get our music queued up here. Our Star Spangled Banner. Jim and I were singing, I hope you all heard us.
You and
Sweet George
5,000
Brown.
You and 5,000 other people.
Sweet Georgia Brown, that's basketball.
Wait a minute.
You're gonna have us snoring.
We can do it a cappella if we need to.
Yeah,
Yeah, we hung out a time or two.
we're hooked up with Bluetooth.
That went quick.
Hey, Bob.
There we go.
How about if we do it a cappella, Mark?
All right, here we go. On 4, 2, 3, 4. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Phil Leopard!
Thank you, Mark. Jim, would you like to introduce the guest?
Sure. First, I'd like to start off. Kathy, would you stand up, please?
Oh, hi.
Kathy Ranieri was our very, in 1983, 82, she was our first Rotarian. And she is now interested in coming back and joining us again.
See everybody.
Thanks for being here today. All right, Rotary. Since Chery brought the wonderful ice cream, would you please make someone's day?
Sure. I'd like to make everyone's day.
Well, I think the ice cream, I guess you already did with monetarily.
I won't look.
That's okay, even if you look, it's not gonna make you look. There we go. Great.
Hey.
Welcome back. You got a whopping $6. Don't spend it all in one place. By the way, the white marble, if somebody pulls it, right now it's worth $148. So, that's better. Yeah. Yep, cool. We have a new member to be sworn in today, and since Greg just won the money, might as well come on up, Greg.
Come on up, Chery. All right, as everybody knows, it's always a good day when we bring a new member in or a previous member back. So today, we'd like to welcome back to our ranks and to admit to membership Terry Penzino. By virtue of your membership in this club, you will be welcomed into the Fellowship of Rotary Worldwide. As you know, the ideal of Rotary is service. Our principal motto is service above self. And the objective of the club is to encourage and bolster this ideal. The honor and privilege of Rotary membership carries with it duties and obligations. You're expected to attend the club's meetings regularly, to perform your share of club service, and to put your talents to work in carrying out the principles of Rotary. So Rotary pin, which you probably already have somewhere else.
Somewhere.
But this pin should be worn at each meeting as an emblem of your membership and your pride in the good works of Rotary. As you look around, you'll see everybody has their pin on today.
Oh, yeah.
But I always tell this story whenever I travel. In fact, I have to be in Germany the week after next. On my lapel on my suits, I always have my Rotary pin. And you'd be surprised how many people around the world stop and we have a conversation around Rotary. So any place you wear it, of course, because we're a worldwide organization, people recognize it. And I'll give you our card. So as mentioned, the objective of Rotary is to encourage and foster service as a basis of worthy enterprise, and in particular to foster the development of friends, high ethical standards, service, and the advancement of international understanding, goodwill, and peace. We ask that you judge your daily actions by the Rotary 4-way test, which we just cited, and we look forward to you enriching the life of this club and its members through your association with Rotary, the world's oldest, largest, and finest service organization. And now, by the power vested in me by the Rotary Club of Louisville in District 6650, I declare you an active member of this Rotary Club. So Rotarians, please welcome back Chery.
It's great to be back. I didn't realize the trail was as long and complicated as it was. I think my wife and I were members through the early 90s, but if you go back in your records and find out that it was a different time, then don't quote me. I think probably when we had kids, that was the last straw. That between that and being busy with our practice, and so meant to get back, but it took getting retired to have enough time to do that, and be able to be committed. So thank you again. Thank you. Yes, sir.
I just want to say, I missed a half $1, I'm sorry, I'll cough up a lot. But the 4-way speech test, we held that, and the kids presented to us within the high school. And honestly, if you ever get a chance to go and judge that, it's worth the time. You know, it takes you probably about an hour and a half out of your day. But the kids are awesome, and the speech shoots are really great here in town. So if you get a chance to go there and listen to the speeches, it's worthwhile. So take a time if you can.
Thank you. I was going to mention that I talked to Greg Parrish this week, and he asked to thank everybody who was involved, the volunteers, you know who you are. But he was also very thankful, and the kids really seem to get a charge out of doing what they do, and plus they won some gift cards too, right?
Yeah,
so,
I did.
You know, so that's a good thing. At any rate, so thank you for helping. We received a cute little thank you card from the Louisville Community Cupboard. Thank you so much for your $1,000 donation to the pantry. You keep us going, much appreciated. And that's just one of the grants, one of the many things that Rotary does in Louisville to help the community. And if you want to see that, you're welcome to. If you don't, pass it around. Volunteers being needed. Last Wednesday after our regular meeting, Cynthia and Jim, myself kind of stuck around and we signed up a few people. If you could help us on the June 25th annual banquet, which will be held here at the Eagles. that would be great. We're always looking for some assistance for that. Probably the biggest or the bigger risk help that we need for volunteers is on September 27th. And September 27th is going to be our 100-year anniversary banquet out at the water's edge. And I was talking to Cynthia today, and she's got a whole list of things that she needs help with. It's not just serving food or worried about the hospitality, but there's phone calls to be made. Did you want to give us a little bit of a breakdown of some of those things?
Well, the biggest thing right now is to accumulate addresses of people that we feel we should invite, because we want to send out save the date cards. Probably we're gonna aim like for June. And I've got lists right here, if somebody would like to take a list and maybe contact and just get addresses for us. Brock is going to help us do save the date cards to send out, but we're gonna invite all surrounding Rotaries. We're gonna invite all the community service clubs, all the past residents of Rotary, the past Rotarians of the year, the past citizens of the year. So we just need addresses. So that's something people could help do right now.
I have a lot of those in the flag database.
Perfect.
Call me Chery.
Call
Yeah.
you.
Good idea.
I'll send you the flag, I'll send you the flag database.
Bless you. Cool, thank you. Anything else?
No, like that's just really serious right now.
Okay.
To get that going. The rest of the things will fall into place.
Okay, cool.
What we could do is upload that to like Google Drive, and we could kind of all work on it together and fill in, like if we just have a name, but somebody has an address or something, so.
That would be
just
great.
tag
And
this
I
in.
have a
Great
list.
idea.
Okay.
Cool. April 12th is going to be our first annual pickleball tournament at the YMCA. There's opportunities for students to participate in their own little area bracket, and adults, if you're interested in participating, or if you have a child or a grandkid who wants to participate. I put some brochures on the tables again. Also, if anybody has a business that would be interested in being like a sponsor or keynote sponsor for this event or activity, by all means, you can check with Shondor, me, even Jared, we're working on this too. We're gonna work to put some advertising online to try to get it out to a few people. I've contacted the Canton Pickleball Association. They have over 800 members now. And I think we'll get a few people there to sign up to play as well, at least I hope so. And I also did the same thing up at Prime Pickleball up in Belton Village. So hopefully we'll get a little bit of things happening there. If anybody's not paid their Rotary dues invoice, please, you can give the check to me, you can mail it in, give it to Shondor, whatever works best for you. Next Wednesday is an evening meeting at 5:30 here. Our speaker will be Jay Barton from the Louisville Community Foundation, so if you can make it next Wednesday night, we're trying to do those Wednesday evening meetings to invite folks that have to work, can't be around during the day, make it a little bit easier for them to be here. So if you've got somebody that you'd like to invite, that would be a great thing. It should be fun. And by all means, be here. I will not be here next week. I'm going to Dayton, and then I'm going to Oak Island, North Carolina via Dayton for a week on the beach. So, anyway, it sounds like fun. And finally, the only other new business is Go Leopards. Best of luck in Dayton, Friday afternoon. Having been there at the field house Sunday, what was it, 6 o'clock game, I guess it was? I told my wife that was the second loudest basketball crowd that I've ever heard in my life. The only one that was louder was at the old Richfield Coliseum about 1976, when the Cavs beat the Celtics in 7 games. And a guy by the name of Dick Snyder, originally from North Canton, sunk a shot from the corner to win the 7th game. The place was absolutely crazy. And but it was really exciting. Sunday night to see how well they played and how much the grit and determination of this team is absolutely spectacular. They didn't give up even though they were down by, I don't know, it was 11 or 12 points there at one time. And they didn't give up. They scored the last 12 points to win the game. So you don't need me to tell you all that. Our special guest speaker today has already made a big impression. She brought ice cream. Thank you. And our young lady is Chery from Virgil's Ice Cream. They opened, I think officially you said in April of last year. So they're about to celebrate their 1-year anniversary. Chery, it's all yours.
Well, thank you for having me. As Randy said, I'm Chery Rich. I'm married to Jeff Rich, who actually owns another company in town that actually brings money into the town. Midlake Products Manufacturing. As I was sitting here and listening to all of you, I love all this Louisville pride. I'm not a Louisville native. My husband is. Of course, my boys are, well, they're more St. Thomas, but we do love the Louisville community, and nothing brings a community together more than a winning sports team, right? Be it football, be it basketball. It's just so exciting. So.
Tell them where you're from.
Oh, sure. Jim's smiling thing, because my husband always, whenever I tell people, he's like, don't tell people you're from there. But I went to Minerva High School. But back before they had such a losing football team, I feel bad for my Minerva Lions, but you know, I just love the community still. And I had to laugh when you were talking about slow motion, how I feel like I'm there in my life. I feel like I was just cruising along, and all of a sudden now I'm like, oh, Lord, you just get to that age where things are a little slower. And I also, when Greg mentioned when he was swearing in the new member about international understanding and peace, and I was talking to Mr. Wood earlier, in 2019, my youngest son, Daniel, who is now brother Joseph, he was an exchange student, a Rotary exchange student, and he went to Spain, and then we had his host brother come and spend time with us. And I think I kind of have that maybe to blame. For those of you who know my son, Daniel, he is going to be a priest, and he is a member, he's a brother in, they're the Servants of Christ Jesus. They're in Denver, and if you're on Facebook, you can Google them. But just in the past year, in October, he went for a month on a poverty pilgrimage to Germany. No money, no cell phone, no contacts, nothing. Now, if you know my husband, Jeff, he was like ready to, like, the person who sent him, he was like, he was, I mean, horrible. But we've come a long way. So from that time, just from, well, I blame it on all of this and his trip to Spain. He went, he did Germany in a month. He started out homeless. Has anyone ever been to Frankfurt Airport? So it's the largest in the world, I heard. I don't know, or maybe Europe. So Daniel got there, nothing. I mean, I think he had an ID, but no phone, no money. He was taken into interrogation because they're like, this is suspicious. You don't have money. You don't know where you're going. And from my understanding too, there are lots of travelers. Most people are tourists there, so no one could offer him help. So as a mama's heart, he was homeless for 2 nights. He slept and he wasn't afraid, because he's been to Spain. Thank you to all of you. But in the end, then he found the people and his momentum, and then he ended up. And you can Google this place, or maybe you know of this place. I didn't. His last nights were spent at Melk Abbey, M-E-L-K, not like milk, but with an E. And it overlooks the Rhine or whatever river is there. I don't know, the Danube, whatever. And he had every luxury at his convenience. I mean, it's literally a mansion. It's beautiful. So he went from homeless in a month to living in a palace, and his journey was beautiful. And anyways, I think I have Rotary to kind of thank and blame that. And then from there, he came home for 2 weeks. Just this past month, he was in Africa for a month, and now from Africa, he's right now in Rome. And then in 2 weeks, I get to see him. So he's had quite an adventure, so it all started with his passion, with the Rotary. So thank you do you still have Rotary students and doing all of that? That's great. I mean, it really, I think it's a wonderful thing. So anyways, I know you're not here to hear about my life. I'm here to tell you about Virgil's.
I know many of you have been there already, and I think I kind of gave you my little spiel at one point, so I don't mean to bore anyone. But just to give you a little timeline, first of all, we have bought the Juilliard house, and some of you may have been at that auction on that September 2022 day, and my husband's like, we bought a house on the beach? No. Main Street, Louisville. Right? Okay.
Good neighborhood.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, you gotta watch some of the neighbors. You know. So when we bought it in September of 22, our original idea was to make it into a bed and breakfast. And first of all, my husband, as I said, he grew up riding his bike. He lived here in town, loved that building. For a period of time, when we were engaged, he lived in the house directly across the Abdul's house. If any of you know the Abduls, he was friends with Derek. And when his parents moved to Columbus, they asked Jeff, like, would you like to live here? We're not ready to sell it yet. So Jeff and I were engaged. I was graduated from college, so now I was living back home with my parents for a year. But my brother was just out of the Air Force and didn't want to move home with our parents, so he lived with Jeff. And I thought, if Jeff can live with my brother for a year, certainly I'm a piece of cake, and if my brother doesn't see anything fishy with this guy, he's okay to marry, so that worked out well. But it was cool, when Jeff was at the auction, he was sitting in that bay window where I call it the disco ball is, and he could look across the street looking at the Abdul's house, just thinking, he's like, I remember sitting in that house looking across at this, so it was kind of fate, I don't know, but anyways, she's ours now. And as far as the bed and breakfast idea, we just thought that if we made a bed and breakfast, the only people who could enjoy it would be the people staying there. Whereas this, we know, Louisville loves that building, and it is, it's beautiful, and this way we can share it with everyone. And so here we have it. And it is called Virgil's, and some of you may know this too, and maybe you even knew my father-in-law, Virgil. He passed away 20 years ago, almost. And he was in metal fabricating with my husband and brother-in-law at Mid-Lake. But he would always say, wouldn't it be fun just to have an ice cream shop? People are always happy eating ice cream, you know? And I think it was more of a figurative thing, but my husband now has taken it quite literally. And so here we are making ice cream. But my father-in-law would say, you know what, if a little kid drops their ice cream cone, big deal, you just give them another one. And so that, again, stuck with my husband, and he had the opportunity then, last summer, a little boy was, I don't know, doing some of his ice cream cone, messing around, fell on the ground. The mom's like, no, I told you, don't mess around. Jeff's like, Bam, it would do me a great honor. But it would do me a great honor if I could give this young man an ice cream cone on behalf of my dad, Virgil. So he did. So anyways, I'm sorry, but it's more than just a building. Jim asked me earlier, have you ever priced like buying the ice cream and selling it? And like, that's not the point, like I love what I was able to provide for you. It doesn't have, Greg came and made some ice cream with us one time too. But I mean, literally it's just a little machine and we have to crank out a lot of ice cream. But the ice cream you ate is probably less than a week old. I don't know, I know the dates on the container. And that's what we like. We don't add preservatives. Now, again, if you had our Oreo cookie, of course there are preservatives in the Oreos, that kind of thing, but I don't add anything more to it. It's made fresh, so you get fresh ice cream and you can taste the difference. Let me see. Okay, Randy mentioned we did soft open a year ago. We were soft open, but prior to that, we did all the tearing down, the demo, all of that, and the remodeling. And if you haven't been in the building, I would encourage you, please come visit us. There is a photo album floating around that has some of the before, during, and after pictures. And when you see that, you can really appreciate the beauty and how far it's come along. And again, it's been fun. Not to say that there weren't lots of tears along the way, but we've learned a lot in a year for sure. I don't know, is there anything else? Like, I don't know what all you're interested in knowing about her.
So speaking of the different rooms and stuff, because I have a daughter-in-law that she said the one day they had their Bible study in one of your rooms.
Yes. And people always ask, can we rent your place for a bridal shower? And we're not open on Sundays and we're not open on Mondays. And, but we do, like if a group knows, like a small group, because we do have the one room upstairs where you can close the door. The YMCA comes, they have their meeting every so often, and we can reserve a table if we know. There's a group of ladies who like to play Mahjong. I don't know how to play it, but anyways, they'll let us know, and we'll put a little sign on the table saying this table's reserved. So we can do that, and if people want to do a Bible study, obviously on a Saturday, we can't accommodate that. We're pretty busy and need all the area. But yeah, anybody, if anyone's interested, you can stop and talk to my daughter-in-law, Jordan.
What else is on your menu?
Ice cream and coffee, breakfast sandwiches, breakfast burritos, egg bites. So we just do breakfast stuff. We don't do lunch because for one thing, really the kitchen is not very big, and because we're doing ice cream and coffee, Greg's been back there. I mean, there's room, but it's like to say we have ovens and stoves, and we're pretty limited. So we don't have more. And plus, I don't want to deal with health department stuff. Ice cream and coffee, all the stuff that we have is frozen, so it's it's pretty easy. Yes.
What do you have for breakfast?
We have bagels, breakfast sandwiches, cinnamon rolls that are really good. We get those from Walnut Creek. I don't know. I'm not on really the coffee end of things.
What time do you open?
We are open 7 to 7 every day except Mondays, or Sunday and Monday. Mondays, Jeff and I are usually there making ice cream. That's usually our production day. In the summer though, June, July, and August, we'll stay open till 8, but 7 to 7 otherwise. Mm-hmm.
All year?
Yes. Yes.
And,
Yeah.
so you shared your story about Ice Cream University or Ice Cream College.
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting.
That's right. So actually, about 2 years ago, my daughter-in-law Jordan and I went to Florida, darn, and we went to ice cream school. The machine that we have, and I'm telling you, it's like the size of my cooler here. I don't know if you can see it on wheels. This is about the size of my ice cream, if you can imagine. It's sitting up on a table, but it's about that big. And the tub, we just pour in enough for one batch. Literally, it's one batch at a time, and it comes out, and it looks. When it comes out, it looks like a blizzard that you might get. But then we put it in we have a blast freezer that freezes it really fast and really hard and preserves it really well. And then we store it up in the other freezers. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. We used an Emery Thompson is the name of our, you can get a Ford or a Chevy car. Well, it's the same kind of thing in the ice cream world. You can have but we have an Emery Thompson because we're an American manufacturer. We went with an American manufacturer, and they are manufactured down in Florida. And so yeah, we had fun. We went to ice cream school, and my daughter-in-law's like, that was the easiest degree I ever earned, and it tasted really good. So yeah, that was fun.
And then where do you get inspiration for, you've got some really cool flavors, like I love your cookie
butter, yeah.
butter.
So some of you had the cookie butter. Again, this is a generational thing. I didn't even know what cookie butter was, but my kids were like, we love cookie butter. And so my daughter-in-law, she comes up with all the coffee flavors, and she was determined to make up a recipe for the cookie butter. Have you ever had cookie butter? You can buy it. It's called Biscoff cookies. Like when you're on a plane, you get the little Biscoff cookies, or you can get pretzels. So the Biscoff cookies go in it, and then there's also like a cookie butter made out of Biscoff, and it's there. It's at Giant Eagle. It's in Walmart or wherever, right in the peanut butter aisle. But it's really good. So, and that's fun too. Our employees love it. I'm like, okay, I'm working on new flavors. So, we have all the samples, and they're all back there. And I love them. They love doing it, but I make them my taste testers. And prior to that, after Jordan and I went to ice cream school, we had our ice cream machine set up in my husband's. He has his man cave barn. And we made it out there, and we would take it to Midlake Products, and all the people at Midlake loved it. Jordan and I would have our table all spread out, and we had little grade sheets, and people would tell, like, needs more of this, needs less of that. And my questions were always like, would you order this? Would you pay for this? Would you, it was so fun. So Midlake was they were our original guinea pigs. Yeah.
What year was the house built and who built it?
The house was built in 1872 by the Juilliard family. Charles Juilliard was the owner of the house where we live. His brother, Augustus, is the benefactor for the Juilliard music in New York City. So there is a connection there. And Charles is buried just in Union Cemetery right outside of town.
Nice.
So yeah, and the house has seen a lot of changes since then. You know, we found it as we were demoing things, and different people have come in throughout the year, and they're like, oh, it's so cute. It's been a while now, but this cute little couple came in. They were celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary, and they told us that 50 years ago today we were married, and we rented the apartment in the back of the building, you know, and so at one time, I guess there was a triplex. I mean, Denny, you might know, like, a lot of the changes it's been through.
Did you live there for a while? No, I worked for the city when the city bought it, and we basically gutted it from a triplex into the Juilliard Center. Yeah, senior center.
Senior Citizen
Yeah.
Center.
When I was in the 6th grade, my good friend Bob Fisher lived there. It was a triplex. And I spent the night several times, go over, you know, play all day Saturday and spend the night. And you remember Bob. And I just gotta say, of course we had ice cream. It wasn't near as good as yours.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, he told me he lived there. We stayed there.
Pastor Hall at the church at the corner of Main Street and Nickel Plate, he lived there for a while too. And his bedroom was upstairs with the window that faces Paradise Church. And so I mean, it's just been really great. And I wish I would have thought about this earlier to get pictures and maybe have people write down when, or, you know, like have a better recording of that. But I was so busy keeping up with ice cream and stuff. A year ago, I didn't think that far ahead, but lots of great stories. And just as we were demoing, you know, we found old wallpaper, you know, and we could tell, like, where there was a hallway, where there were, you know, and under flooring. I came through several layers of different vinyl flooring that was, you know, years and years old. And then underneath that, and I have this at my house, I still want to do something. After we got up all this linoleum, there was newspaper from the 1920s from the repository. And it was around Easter time. And it had ladies' frocks, like for $17, and it had their shoes, had pictures of shoes, and I love these, and I do want to get them in frames and hang them up, because I think people would enjoy looking at those. But right now they're in my basement, and I need to do something creative with them, but I'm just not creative. But, so that's really cool. And then the style of flooring, too, was kind of funny to see the old linoleum and that kind of thing.
Thank you very much.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me.
There's a Rotary
Awesome, thank
cup,
you. I need a
and
cup.
if you would like a flag for your place, there's an address on there where you can order a
I actually do
Rotary
get
flag.
these. I already get these. Oh, at Virgil. I get these at my house. I
I know.
have 5 of them.
We just thought that corner would be a perfect spot
Yes.
for a Rotary flag.
I agree. Thank you. Yes, my pleasure.
Thank you.
Randy?
Always be closing. ABC. Yes.
I'd like to officially invite you to be a member of the Louisville Rotary.
Let me consider
Think
that.
about it. Okay.
All right. For $148.
All right.
Where's your white marble?
Got it.
Sorry. It lives to go another week.
It's never ended, right?
No names, please. Anybody else have anything? Just a reminder, next Wednesday is our 5:30 meeting here. Please, if you can make it, invite somebody who can't make it during the day, that would be great.